Hey, what is up guys? Guitar here, welcome back to another Brave 9 video. Alright, so back with some analysis. Today we will be looking at the recent companions, alright, or rework for Ventana, Valtor, Ebony and Naja. Alright, so I'll try to cover more on Ventana and Valtor because those two are the ones that interest most of the players. I mean, if you're here for Ebony, then sure, we'll do that later. But we got to focus on Ventana and Valtor first. Alright, I just want to give a heads up, a little bit of a warning. If you watch my Helga's video that I published about a couple of hours back, or is it yesterday? I'm not sure when I'll be publicly uploading this video. But yeah, in that video, if you watch, you sort of know like the outcome. I hope you know the outcome of trying to pick Ventana and trying to build her right now. Alright, so if you haven't watched it yet, then I mean like the best thing you can do is probably just subscribe and turn on the notifications, because I know YouTube doesn't do a good job in showing you my videos on your front page all the time. So you have to turn on the notifications so you get notified as well. So make sure you do that if you want to stay up to date, because I'll be posting a lot of meta related contents for Brave 9 in the next upcoming days. So here's the thing, we're going to talk about Ventana for the time being, and I will need you guys to know a couple of things. Alright, so if you already pulled on Ventana, just a bit of warning, alright? It might upset you a little bit. I'm not saying that she's bad, alright? That's not what I'm saying. She's still gonna be good. Ventana is gonna be solid for a while. But because our meta is really fast, it's really quick pace right now, alright? Like when you want to invest in a unit, you have to make sure that they can be servicing you for the next couple of months in your arena formation. Especially, alright? If you're pulling her for guild wars or whatever, then alright, that's fine. You have your point. So I know lots of players have been preparing for her for a while now, because we do get the news of Ventana plus 15 for the longest time ever. So plus 0 you already get at 250%. So plus all the way up to plus 3, that seems like a solid stopping point. If you don't want to like invest further all the way up to plus 3, it seems really decent actually, because she already unlocks all her skill. As long as you have her awakening, she will have the 95%. And if you notice, she doesn't need substat runes because she has 5% base stats for defense right there. So with this 95%, she can achieve 100% defense when she hits the enemy before normal attack. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so most of the things for her are still the same, I think, up to plus 9 onwards. Okay, 150% edgy before battle. So you want to give her assault runes or rage runes with substat edgy. So that will give her like the best optimal runes, because the edgy will be converted before the battle. So at plus 9, very interesting. So she get 1 turn of debuff immunity. So this sort of increases her usefulness. So it means that she won't die to something like a reflective DOT or whatever. Alright, so definitely much more useful, and she won't get charm from Dalvi, etc, all those things. But plus 10, alright, so now you get more boost. Plus 11 more boost. Plus 12, you get a little bit of healing. So she gets healing every turn, 50% healing of her max HP. So I'm not sure if this is exactly useful, because she's one of the few units that are quite squishy, on the squishier side of warriors. So when she gets one-shotted, she's gonna die most of the time. Like healing a little bit might not be that helpful actually for her. Yeah, she actually has very low base HP. Alright, so plus 13 and plus 14, this is where you get increase in the ultimate strike. So if you notice, I feel like you either go plus 3 or you have to go plus 15, right? So whatever that you get, some might argue that okay, at plus 9 you get this debuff immunity. Fine, alright, this can be useful in certain cases. But I feel like this one it can be negated if you have Veronia. So you can go Veronia to Ventana, right? But plus 15 is where it's at 350%, alright? And it goes up to 650%. That is a lot of increase. It's a heck ton of increase. Alright, so this is where you get a lot of huge changes to her skills at plus 15. Alright, debuff immunity is still there. And then she gets 2 more sub skills. Alright, so one is very unique, concentration. So raises concentration of effect if the enemy dies during the additional damage duration time. So basically, if Ventana one-shots the enemy, she will get all the stats boost by 100%. Okay, very cool, right? 100%, except HP. And if you watch my Helga video, Alright, if you watch my Helga video, you know Helga does exactly the same thing when she dies, except that she gives everyone that 100%. Now, in this one, Ventana alone is receiving it, which is fine, alright, if she kills an enemy. If she doesn't, she won't get it. But most of the time, she will be able to kill the enemy. But this is the other skill, is also what makes her really strong as well. Alright, Ray of Light. So what this does, deals fixed damage, alright, to the enemy. Attack times 75%. Now, it's not exactly high. So if you look at all of these skills, you know that she's extremely niche. Alright, when I say niche, she's good in dealing with taunters because the modifiers is so huge. 650 freaking percent. Like, that is insane, man. Like, anyone who has taunt is gonna die, literally. Alright, especially those with Albion. Sometimes they will count it as 2 taunts. Like, sometimes Albion Grand, they will count that as 2 taunts. One from Albion, one from Grand. Ventana is gonna destroy that Albion Grand easily, no problem at all. But the problem comes in when Albion Grand is no longer being used that much. So Ventana will still be able to deal with taunters, but against units that are just relatively tanky, but do not have taunt on them, she will not do much to them. Alright, so you have to keep that in mind. So I've seen in the Korea meta, some of them bring back Valfren. So Valfren plus 10 with 2 vital runes, very tanky with energy guard. Ventana cannot do anything at all. Like, same goes for the same unit that was released at the same time as her, which is Valtor. Alright, Valtor, if Valtor does not have taunt, there's no way Ventana can one-shot that Valtor. Alright, unless you go like super hyper buff, 4 or 5 buffs or something. But in most ideal scenario, you can see Ventana is a very niche unit. She's good in getting rid of taunt, but if there's no taunt, she deals okay damage. I wouldn't say that she's a bad unit, but in most cases, Dalvi is gonna be more consistent in terms of damage wise. So here's the thing. If you follow what I mentioned in the Helga video earlier today, I did say that Ventana's lifespan is gonna be short. Alright? Now I'm not saying that she's gonna be useless afterwards completely, but if you look at the Korea meta right now, alright, as of the latest version just posted based on last week, she only has 4% usage rate. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Some of you might be wondering, okay, why is that? Why is it that's happening right now? So in the Korea meta, Seto came out. Seto exists now. So some of you might be like, oh, Seto is a different role. Seto is more like a tank. Ventana is a warrior. Not really. If you look at it, Seto is also a warrior that can deal fixed damage, right? And if Ventana hits Seto, Ventana is gonna die. That's the thing. And after Ventana, we're gonna have Helga as well. Alright? And with Helga's existence, Ventana will die more often than you think, because if Helga actually gets her debuff prohibition off, this skill will not activate on Ventana, so she will not have 100% defense. So she pretty much dies to anything that has reflective counter. This is something that I think most players don't really mention. I just figured I'll mention it because once Helga comes, that's when you will see your Ventana start dying if buff prohibition is applied to your Ventana. Can she be used to counter the Albion Grand meta? Yes, she can. Alright, she definitely can. But think about it for a second before you pull her, because how long is Albion Grand meta gonna last? Like, you have to ask yourself this question, right? So Albion is still just another supporter that gives taunt. Does it make sense for players to still use him longer down the road? Now, our meta is a bit jumbled up. It's very quick. It's extremely fast paced. So most of the units that appear in the April, alright, in our server will most likely have extremely short lifespan, and Ventana is unfortunately one of them. Okay, so if you invest in her, alright, keep in mind, I just want to stress this out because Ventana is only really strong and really good at plus 15. So that is a lot of investment. Alright, I just want you guys to know what you're getting yourself into. Alright, if you already know you want her and you pull for her, great. You already know that you need her. That's fine. But this is for players who are hesitating and you're still waiting for my video, and hopefully I'll give you an insight again against Valtor after this. Yeah, so she really needs plus 15. Anything below that, it doesn't give her this ability to get 100% more stats on everything, crit rate, crit damage, everything, and also this Ray of Light which deals fixed damage. Alright, so below that, she will deal lots of damage to taunters, but she will get stuck in units with 100% defense. Alright, so but if you can get her to plus 15, she can get rid of Edin or whatever, Angelica, those units with 100% defense. But yeah, the meta is evolving really quick, and you can see based upon what they have on Korea, 4% usage rate is really low. Actually, she never had a high usage rate to begin with. I think even on the first week she came out, her usage rate was like 20 to 30% at most. It was always kind of similar with how Lyudmila was. So if you do recruit her, I feel like you don't have to be upset because she's still gonna be very good in a lot of cases, like in Underground Arena. If you join tournaments a lot, you don't have to worry about any of those taunters, right? She's just there. Put her right there just to be prepared for anyone that comes out to taunt you. Even in Guild Wars, extremely solid. Very good option for players who do not have Livia. So let's move on to Valtor. Now Valtor is a magician, keep that in mind. Okay, he's extremely broken. He is so freaking broken that I do think that they actually make Flora the way she is. So Flora has this skill right here. Flora's max HP will increase allies' HP. But if you notice there, allies' HP except for magicians. So I don't know, man, like Valtor is the only tanky ones right now. And also in Korea server, they actually released Valtor and Ventana first, and then Flora way later on, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so Valtor has extremely high HP. It looks like the HP is still around the same, or did they add it? They must have added it. Yeah, that's a lot. That's very high, man. 14k HP? Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot than I anticipated. Okay, so what did they change? If you watch my Mamone video, if you heard what I said in that video, this guy literally just... this skill, man. This skill is like... Now he has this skill. This is so good, alright? Reflective Nullifier is so good. Now, why is this skill freaking good? If enemy has taunt, they hit you, that taunt will get removed. It's like now you don't even need a grace anymore in your Guild Wars. You're gonna have this guy at +0, sure. If Glacia hits Valtor, her taunt will get removed immediately. If your Cowley hits Valtor, taunt get removed immediately. The only unit that's susceptible is still Grand, unfortunately. So this skill is where he will be dealing his damage most of the time. Okay, very cool. And then he has regeneration. And Awakening skill is DOT immunity. I have no idea why DOT immunity, but that's gonna be able to help him alleviate some of the weaknesses that most tanks have. Some tanks have weaknesses against Christina, for example, right? In Valtor's case, doesn't have to worry about DOT affecting him later on. So Christina has to one-shot him, or else he will not die at all throughout with the DOT. But against like Benshina, Cowley, for example, other high HP tanks, they suffer because they do not have DOT immunity. Sometimes even if Christina do not one-shot them, they eventually will die from DOT, right? But with Valtor's case, it's a bit different. He doesn't have to worry about that at all. So that gives Valtor an edge right there. Alright, so 60%, 70%. So +3, +4, +5, this thing increases the healing by a lot. Alright, 4%, 6%, 8%. That's a ton actually. That is a ton. Alright, so 70 turns barrier. His barrier lasts pretty long as well. +6, this is where it gets interesting. Alright, so if you are building a Valtor, I would say minimum you want to have is +6. Because you gotta have this skill, man. This skill is just one of the better skills out there. Okay, so after normal attack, boost his HP by 30%. Permanently, 30%. Like this is what makes Valtor so strong. The longer the battle goes on, okay, the more HP he will have, ideally. So look at this. Can be stacked. Alright, can be stacked. Let that sink into you for a moment. If the battle lasts for 12 rounds, 13 rounds, Valtor can literally have 100,000 HP, 200,000 HP even. Possible. It's actually possible. Alright, that's not the best part yet. Look at this. +7, 40% HP. Oh, +8, 50% HP. Alright, suddenly he has half his HP increase. Very cool. Very cool. +9, okay. More healing every turn and more incoming damage. Appreciate that. So +10 and +11. Alright, this is where he deals... His damage is actually insane because it scales off his HP. The higher his HP goes, the more damage he deals, right? So if you look at it, 65%, and it's also 110% of additional damage based upon his HP, which is crazy, alright? And then 130%, and then 80% boost for his HP. Alright, so you either go +6 if you are at least, you want to build him very conscious. You need him at least +6, at least +6. But optimally, if you can go further, I would recommend +12. This is too good to pass. Alright, +12 is just too good to pass. And I feel like in most cases, you will need him at +11, not +12, +11. Alright, so in most cases, this is going to be more than enough. I don't think you need to go higher. I'll explain it later. Okay, so if you go to +12, now this thing has an additional 50%, minus 50% incoming damage. Alright, some players might get confused because this skill right here says incoming damage minus 50%, and then this skill right here says incoming damage minus 50%. Does that mean that it's minus 100%? No, it doesn't work that way. Maximum incoming damage reduction that you can stack is 70%. And in this case, actually, it will calculate one after the other in terms of the effect. So if I'm not mistaken, it's like 40 something percent. Alright, I'll try to put it on the screen if I can find it. Okay, and then we have this skill. Now it heals even more, and at +15, 100% HP. Yeah, +15 is pretty broken. Alright, so more damage, more HP gain. But Valtor is a very straightforward unit. In most cases, I think +11 is going to be more than enough if you are building Valtor for the arena. So keep in mind, Valtor is still Valtor, right? At the end of the day, he's not immortal, okay? He's not immortal. I do strongly believe lots of units can still one-shot him. Alright, Livia is going to be able to do that. Angelica, obviously, you want to go Vital Runes on Valtor. Unless you go Shield Rune on Valtor, which I don't think you want to do that because it's such a waste. He does have 10% base stats defense. In most cases, units that, will be able to deal a ton of damage that is not fixed, for example, Dalvi, all those will not be able to do anything to him. So Adin might still be able to one-shot him most of the time if he doesn't stack enough attacks. Now this is the funny thing. A lot of players are saying that they want to recruit Ventana to get rid of Albion Grand. But if you are struggling with Grand, right? If a Valtor were to fight a Grand one-on-one, a Grand can never win that battle. Alright, sooner or later Valtor will just destroy that Grand. So if you are struggling and you're trying to counter Albion Grand, Valtor could actually be a decent option as well. Alright, the only thing you have to worry about is Angelica, which is she's still quite seen quite often in a lot of places, and Livia. But Valtor doesn't have Taunt. So if you position him good enough, I feel like it's doable for you to be building a Valtor to be countering Grand. But this is not something that I would say is a consistent method and every player should do this, but it's just more for options for you guys, alright? For players who are very good in formation and positioning and stuff, you might be able to use Valtor to counter Albion Grand, alright, if you do not have Ventana. So it's also a decent option. Okay, so if I were to say Ventana or Valtor, who would last longer in the meta? I'm going to say Valtor, obviously. But that's just for a couple of reasons. For as far of the meta as we can see, because Seto is going to come real soon. And Seto Beliaf is going to be the unit that everybody can pick and perhaps everybody will build. Alright, Valtor counters both of those units. So if you have Ventana, Ventana will die to Seto. Ventana will die to Beliaf skeletons. So you have to think that way. So once the Octo comes, yeah, she can still counter Albion Grand for sure. But Seto and Beliaf is going to be everywhere. So Ventana will always die to Seto no matter what. And Ventana, no matter what she hits a skeleton, she will still die. So you have to look at it from that matter. If you are going to go Ventana route, once the Octo comes, I won't say that she's completely useless, but it's going to be harder to use her. Alright? So think carefully if you want to go that route. Valtor is the safer option between the two. I'm not saying that he's better, I'm saying that he's safer. Alright? If you are just looking at the meta right now against Albion Grand, sure, Ventana is going to be good right now. And perhaps in Guild Wars and UA to come, Ventana is going to can be used strongly right there. Okay, so hopefully that will give you an idea if you are deciding between Ventana or Valtor. Alright, so next let's talk about Ebony. Okay, so she's a 4-star. Ideally, 4-stars are extremely easy to plus 15. And I wouldn't go too much detail into like, what skill level she's good at. But I just want to touch on a couple of things. Alright, plus 10, she's gonna have the nullifier bestowal. She's gonna have 12 turns as opposed to 10 turns. So if you go all the way to plus 15, alright, I just wish this was before normal attack, not after. But I guess that will make her too broken in a way, Now everybody is like a Yuri if it's like before normal attack. So, okay, fair enough. They shouldn't do that. But the buffs, I feel like leave a bit to be desired. Or maybe not the buffs. The buffs are fine. Maybe it's the range. Why not just give her the 3x3 tiles, just like Serendia, right? So, will Ebony be used a lot in the meta? If you are a beginner, right? If you are new, if you are thinking to invest in either Serendia or Ebony, I would still lean towards Serendia. Obviously, it's kind of a situation basis because some units will benefit more from Ebony because Ebony does have attack and crit damage. Alright, crit damage can be useful for certain units that's not fixed damage. Like Dalvi doesn't benefit much from crit damage, but some units like Talos or Barbara will benefit a lot from crit damage. So you have to weigh in what warriors do you have in the first place, right? But in most cases, I would say because of the 3x3 tiles from Serendia, you are probably going to make much more use of Serendia because in Guild Wars and in Underground Arena, you can place your units in better positioning, whereas this cross tile, it has a lot of limitations, alright? But obviously they will both have their uses, and I would say at the end of the day you should be building both, but if you have to pick one first, I would say Serendia still, and then you can build Ebony later on. Alright, so she does have this thing, which I do appreciate. Alright, so the attack interference immunity bestowal. Now this is kind of a hit and miss. Obviously it's going to be good against certain units, but we do already have something like Eras to help with the 3-star for attack interference immunity for the Novice Arena, right? So most players have been using that guy for a long time. Is Eras a guy or a girl? I have no idea, but yeah. So now we have Ebony. I guess it's good in a way. Also stats weakening, she has always have this. In terms of Novice Arena, in a lot of cases, Serendia's silence is kind of useful as well. So you have to weigh in that. So do you want the silence or do you want a nullifier? And do you prefer this immunity or do you prefer purification from Serendia, right? So purification can, it always works wonders. It helps purify everything. Obviously with purification, Belasier, who came out, was dominant in the meta when Serendia was used a lot. But with Ebony around, I'm not sure if Belasier can still be used with Lulu, of course. But in most cases, against things like DOT, for example, or Stigma, purification can help, but this immunity right here will not be able to help. So you have to weigh in that as well. Alright, so let's talk about Naja, the final unit that we have in this rework. Naja is a 3-star that can only be obtained from mileage. So if you do not have her, I can't find her. Where is she? Wait, I don't have her, so it should be, yep. Okay, so if you do not have her, I think it's fine if you don't have her. Let's just look at her skills at plus 15. So she's a multi-hit unit, attack 2 times. Alright, she hits the most far back, far rare, similar to Litho. Okay, and she has this thing, deals additional damage to the enemy. Alright, 100%. I mean, it's okay for a 3-star. Alright, she heals when enemy dies and increase attack by 100% when enemy dies as well. So she's one of those units that if she gets a kill, she will get significantly stronger. Like obviously, I do like her a lot actually. Something that hits far rare. For a 3-star, we do not have much of that. For 4-star, we only have like Lito, Yunrang. Is there any more? I can't think of any more, but for 3-star, I think she might actually be the only one. Yeah, I can't think of any other warriors that have the hit the most rare in terms of the opponents. So in a way, that's kind of good. If you need that kind of scenario, she can be used a lot. Stats weakening immunity as well. So she's not going to be able to... So yeah, you don't have to worry about her hitting like those Belasiers at the far rare because she will be able to deal full force of power against her. Don't have to worry about her stats being reduced. I mean, Naja is a 3-star mileage only. I wouldn't like force yourself to go mileage for her and pick her. She's not like a must-have in Novice, right? There's still plenty of warriors already, but she's a solid choice for sure. Like I wouldn't say that she's bad. Maybe I'll try to obtain her. I don't have her yet. I'm not sure how much mileage I will need to be able to get her, but yeah, we can try for a bit, I guess. Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and as always, please share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you guys already put for Ventana or Valtor, let me know in the comments below as well, and let me know why you guys decided to go for either one of those. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification as well. It's very important if you want to stay up to date and notified whenever I upload a new video. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, have a nice day, goodbye.